The massive alien ship appeared over New York without warning. It hung in the sky like a shining silver disk, its surface gleaming under Earth's sun. The world held its breath, waiting to see if this was the end or a new beginning. Captain James Walker stood straight in his crisp blue uniform, trying to hide his nervousness. He was about to become the first human to enter the Galactic Council's ship. As the head of Earth's Defense Force presentation team, he carried humanity's hopes on his shoulders. The transport beam felt like warm sunlight as it lifted him from the ground. In seconds, he found himself in a huge room with walls that seemed to be made of flowing light. Beings of different shapes and sizes sat in a half-circle before him. Some looked almost human, while others were as strange as deep-sea creatures. "Welcome, Earth representative," said a tall figure with blue-tinted skin. "I am High Commander Thex of the Galactic Council. We have been watching your species for some time." Walker bowed slightly. "On behalf of Earth, we are honored to meet you." Yes. Thex waved a hand. "We have reviewed your civilization's current level of development. The Council has decided to offer Earth protected status, as we do with all the merging species." Walker felt his face grow warm. "Protected status. Of course. Your technology is, how shall we say, at a charming stage of development." Thex's smile didn't reach his eyes. "We've come to ensure no advanced species takes advantage of your primitive state." Walker took a deep breath. This wasn't going how he'd hoped. "Perhaps I could show you some of Earth's current military capabilities. We've made significant advances in the last century." "Oh, this should be entertaining," said a creature that looked like a cross between a cat and a bird. Several council members laughed softly. Walker activated his presentation tablet. Holographic images appeared, showing Earth's latest military equipment. "This is our most advanced battle rifle, the M45. It uses electromagnetic enhancement to fire projectiles at projectiles." Thex interrupted, his voice filled with amusement. "You mean you still use physical objects as weapons?" The council chamber filled with laughter. Walker felt his ears burning but continued. "Our weapons are highly effective. And, my dear Captain," Thex said, wiping tears from his eyes, "the civilized galaxy has used energy weapons for millennia. Look." He pressed a button on his chair. A hologram appeared showing ships firing beams of light that cut through asteroids. "These are real weapons, plasma cannons, quantum disruptors, gravity lenses. These are the tools of modern warfare." "With respect," Walker said firmly, "our weapons have proven very reliable in—" "Captain," a tentacled being interrupted, "my species abandoned projectile weapons before we invented powered flight. They're toys compared to energy weapons." Walker watched as the council members shared amused looks. Some were barely trying to hide their smirks. He thought of all the years humans had spent perfecting their weapons, all the research and dedication, being dismissed as primitive jokes. "The Council has decided," Thex announced. "Earth will be granted protected status. We will station a small observation fleet in your solar system to ensure no one exploits your limited capabilities. You may continue developing your charming little weapons, of course." Walker wanted to argue, to defend Earth's honor, but he knew it would only make things worse. "Thank you for your generosity," he managed to say. "Dismissed, Captain. Do try not to shoot yourself with those projectiles on your way out." More laughter filled the chamber as the transport beam activated. Back on Earth, Walker stood before the United Nations Security Council, his hands clenched behind his back. "They think we're primitives playing with toys," he reported. "They've completely dismissed our military capability." The room was silent for a moment. Then General Thompson spoke up from the back. "Well, Captain, perhaps that's not entirely a bad thing. After all," he smiled grimly, "the best advantage in any fight is when your opponent underestimates you." Walker nodded slowly, beginning to understand. Sometimes, being laughed at just meant you had a surprise waiting for those who didn't take you seriously. and Earth, it seemed, had a very big surprise indeed. Lieutenant Maria Torres wiped sweat from her forehead as she stared through the observation window. The underground testing facility was Earth's best-kept secret, buried deep beneath the Nevada desert. Today's experiment could change everything. Recording test 47. She spoke into her recorder. Standard M45 rifle versus recovered alien shield technology. The alien shield generator hummed to life, creating a shimmering blue wall of energy. It was salvaged from a crashed scout ship 3 months ago, before the Council's arrival. The Council still didn't know humans had it. "Fire when ready," Maria ordered. The robotic testing arm squeezed the trigger. The rifle cracked, its bullets streaming toward the energy shield. Maria held her breath. Previous energy weapon tests had all failed, the shield easily deflecting them. The bullet passed straight through the shield and embedded itself in the target behind it. "Holy," Maria whispered, then caught herself. Test 47 successful. Projectile penetrated shield completely. Shield strength remained at 100% during penetration. She quickly ran 5 more tests. Every bullet went through the shield like it wasn't even there. Her hand shook as she typed her report. This changed everything. 2 hours later, in a secure conference room, Earth's top military leaders watched Maria's test footage. The room buzzed with excited whispers. "How is this possible?" General Thompson asked, leaning forward in his chair. Maria stood at attention. "The alien shields are designed to stop energy weapons, sir. They create a field that disperses energy attacks across their surface, but they don't stop physical objects well. It's like they're trying to stop water with a chain-link fence. And they've forgotten about projectile weapons entirely," Captain Walker asked. He'd been quiet since his humiliating meeting with the Council. "Yes, sir. Their civilization abandoned physical ammunition thousands of years ago. They've literally forgotten that bullets can be effective." The room grew quiet as everyone considered the implications. "The Council's observation ships arrive tomorrow," General Thompson said. "They'll be watching us closely. Lieutenant Torres, I want you to continue your tests, but with absolute secrecy. Captain Walker, you'll handle the observers." Walker nodded. "They already think we're primitive. It won't be hard to keep them believing it." Over the next few weeks, the Council observers watched Earth's military with barely hidden amusement. They saw soldiers practicing with their primitive guns, shaking their heads at the backwards humans. What they didn't see was happening underground. Maria's team tested every weapon in Earth's arsenal against the alien shield. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, artillery. Everything went straight through. They even tested old muskets. Those worked too. "It's like they built the perfect defense against future weapons," Maria told Walker one evening, but forgot to defend against the past. Walker watched through one-way glass as a Council observer laughed at Earth soldiers doing target practice. "Their arrogance will be their weakness. They're so proud of their advanced technology, they can't imagine older weapons being any threat." Maria nodded. "Should we tell them? Warn them about this weakness?" "No," Walker said firmly. "The Council made their choice when they decided to treat us like children. Sometimes children have to teach adults a lesson." In her lab that night, Maria made another discovery. The alien metals used in ship hulls were designed to resist energy weapons too. A standard armor-piercing round could punch right through them. She stared at her test results for a long time. Humanity's primitive weapons could defeat both alien shields and armor. The Council's mighty warships, which could shrug off direct hits from plasma cannons, had less protection against bullets than an old tank. Recording final notes, she spoke to her recorder. Project conclusion. The Council doesn't just underestimate our weapons. They are completely defenseless against them. Heaven help them if they ever make us angry. She closed her notebook and turned off the lights. In the darkness, she wondered if the Council would ever realize their mistake. Would they understand before it was too late that sometimes the old ways were the best ways? Above ground, another Council observer watched Earth soldiers practice and laughed. Humans were such an amusing, primitive species, weren't they? High Commander Thex paced in the council chamber, his blue skin now pale with worry. The holographic displays showed another destroyed council ship, its hull riddled with holes. It was the 12th attack this month. "How are the pirates doing this?" he demanded. "Our shields were at full power." The council members watched in silence as the replay showed the pirate ships attacking. Their weapons weren't energy beams like normal ships used. Instead, they fired something that looked like small metal objects. "The Crimson Nebula pirates have developed some new weapon," a council scientist explained. "It somehow bypasses our shields entirely." On Earth, Captain Walker and Lieutenant Torres watched the same footage in their underground command center. The council had sent it as a warning to all protected worlds about the growing pirate threat. "Those are railguns," Torres said quietly. "They're using our technology." Walker leaned closer to the screen. "Are you sure? Look at the damage patterns. Those are holes from solid projectiles, just like our weapons make. Someone gave the pirates our primitive technology." The next day, another council ship fell to the pirates. This one was carrying civilians. The council's mighty energy weapons proved useless against the pirates' stolen Earth technology. Their shields, designed to stop energy weapons, might as well have been paper. "We should tell them," Torres said, watching the casualty reports grow. "We could help them." Walker shook his head. "The council made it clear they don't want help from primitive species. Their pride is going to get more people killed." Reports kept coming in. The pirates were growing bolder, attacking bigger targets. Council military vessels, once feared throughout the galaxy, now avoided pirate ships. Their advanced weapons were no match for simple projectile guns. In the council chamber, tempers were rising. "How can mere pirates defeat our best ships?" demanded a reptilian council member. "Our technology is superior in every way." "Clearly not," growled another member. "We need to find out how they're doing this." Thex stood at the window, watching the stars. His people had relied on energy weapons for so long, they'd forgotten about other ways to fight. Now that forgetting was costing lives. On a distant council colony, a family huddled in their home as pirate ships appeared in the sky. The colony's defenders raised their energy shields and powered up their plasma cannons. The pirates just laughed. Their ships opened fire, simple metal slugs tearing through the colony's supposedly impenetrable defenses. The colonists could only watch in horror as their advanced technology proved worthless. Back on Earth, Walker received another update. 3 more council ships destroyed. A mining colony raided. A transport ship full of refugees lost. "The pirates are getting better at using our weapons," Torres reported. "They're learning fast." Walker stared at the casualty lists. The council's pride was leading them to disaster. They needed help, whether they would admit it or not. "How long until they attack somewhere near Earth?" he asked. Torres checked her data. "The pirates are moving this way. At their current pace, they'll reach our sector within 2 months." Walker nodded slowly. "Then we wait. The council won't accept our help unless they have no choice. When the pirates come here." He paused, looking at the footage of another destroyed council ship. "When they come here, we'll show everyone what these primitive weapons can really do." In the depths of space, the pirate fleet grew larger. Ships that had once feared the council's mighty weapons now hunted them. Their stolen Earth technology made them unstoppable. The council's age of energy weapons was ending. The time of kinetic weapons had returned. And Earth, the primitive world they had laughed at, held the key to survival. But would the council swallow their pride in time, or would their arrogance doom them all? The emergency alarm blared through Earth's defense headquarters at 3 a.m. Captain Walker ran into the command center, still pulling on his uniform jacket. "Report," he shouted. "Pirates attacking the council colony in the Proxima system." Lieutenant Torres answered, her fingers flying over the control panel. Less than 2 light years from Earth. The main screen showed 5 pirate ships attacking a small colony. The colony's energy shields flickered uselessly as railgun fire tore through them. Thousands of civilians were trapped there, including children. Council response time. Walker asked, though he already knew the answer. Their nearest battle fleet is 6 hours away. Torres looked up from her screen. The colony won't last 6 minutes. Walker straightened his uniform. How fast can we get there? Sir, Torres said carefully, we don't have permission to intervene. The Council ordered all protected worlds to stay out of conflicts. How fast? Torres smiled slightly. The new fusion drives can get us there in 10 minutes. Walker pressed the emergency deployment button. Klaxons sounded throughout the base. All crews to battle stations. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. 3 Earth ships powered up their engines. They were small compared to Council vessels, painted dark gray and bristling with what the Council had called primitive weapons. Their crews worked quickly, loading ammunition and checking systems. Sir, Torres called from her station. Council command is ordering us to stand down. They say we're violating our protected status. Walker grabbed the communication mic. Council command, this is Captain Walker. There are children in that colony. We are going to help them. You can court-martial me later. The Earth ships jumped to faster than light speed, their new engines pushing them through space faster than any Council ship could match. In minutes, they emerged near the colony. The pirates didn't even notice them at first. They were too busy shooting at the colony's failing defenses. Their ships, modified with stolen Earth technology, kept firing their railguns at the helpless colonists. All ships, weapons free, Walker commanded. Show them what real Earth weapons can do. The Earth ships opened fire, not with single railguns like the pirates used, but with everything humanity had perfected over centuries of warfare. Railguns, coilguns, mass drivers, and good old-fashioned artillery shells streaked through space. The pirate shields, copied from Council designs, did nothing to stop the barrage. The first pirate ship exploded as dozens of shells tore through its hull. The second tried to turn and fight, but a spread of armor-piercing rounds shredded its engines. 2 ships attempting to flee, Torres reported. Not today, Walker said grimly. All ships, fire pattern Delta. The Earth ships launched a web of synchronized fire, catching the fleeing pirates in a crossfire of projectiles. In seconds, it was over. All 5 pirate ships were destroyed or disabled. The colony's survivors stared in amazement. The Council observation team stationed there couldn't believe their eyes. These primitive humans had just destroyed 5 pirate ships in less than 2 minutes. Colony secure, Torres reported. No civilian casualties from our action. Council battle fleet still 5 hours away. Walker nodded, then activated the general communication channel. This is Captain Walker of Earth Defense Force. To all Council ships and stations, we have eliminated the pirate threat at Proxima Colony. We will remain on station until Council forces arrive. The Council observation team's leader, who had once laughed at Earth's weapons, sent a personal message. Captain, how did you do that? Simple, Walker replied. We never forgot that sometimes the old ways work best. Your shields stop energy. Our bullets are just metal moving very, very fast. You can't stop physics with pride. As emergency teams helped the colony's people, Walker looked at the debris of the pirate ships. The Council couldn't ignore this now. They had just seen what Earth's primitive weapons could really do. The age of looking down on Earth was over. The time had come for the Council to learn some humility, or face the consequences of their pride. The Council chamber was silent for the first time in centuries. The holographic display showed the wreckage of the pirate ships, torn apart by Earth's weapons. High Commander Thex stood before the Council, his blue skin almost white with shock. The investigation is complete, he said quietly. The pirates were using stolen Earth weapon designs, but they only understood half of what they were copying. Lieutenant Torres stood at attention beside Captain Walker as they faced the Council. This time, No one was laughing at the humans. "Explain," demanded one of the council members. "The pirates copy our basic railgun design," Torres said. "But they didn't understand the targeting systems, the ammunition types, or the fire control computers. They were using a child's copy of our weapons." The display changed to show the battle footage. Earth ships moving with precision, their weapons firing in perfect coordination. Metal slugs moving at incredible speeds, guided by targeting computers that had been perfected over centuries of development. "All this time," Thex said, his voice hollow, "while we were mocking your primitive weapons, you were perfecting them." Walker nodded. "We never stopped improving our kinetic weapons. While the galaxy focused only on energy weapons, we kept working with physical projectiles. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." Another council member leaned forward. "But why didn't you tell us about the shield weakness?" "Would you have listened?" Walker asked. "You called us primitive, treated us like children. Would you have believed children who told you your mighty shields had such a simple weakness?" The council members looked at each other uncomfortably. They knew he was right. "We need your help," Thex said, the words clearly painful to speak. "The pirates are still out there. More colonies are at risk. Will Earth share its weapon technology with the Council?" Walker looked at Torres, who nodded slightly. "We will share with those who are willing to learn. But there are conditions." "Conditions?" Thex asked, surprised. "First, Earth's protected status ends today. We are full members of the galactic community." The Council muttered but agreed. "Second, we want joint military operations, Earth officers working with Council ships. Real cooperation, not just copying our guns." "Agreed," Thex said quickly. "And third," Walker paused, making eye contact with each council member, "no more looking down on primitive technology. The galaxy needs both the old and the new. Energy weapons and projectile weapons, past and future working together." The council chamber was quiet again. Centuries of pride and tradition hung in the balance. Finally, Thex spoke. "We accept your terms. The galaxy must adapt or die. Our pride has already cost too many lives." Torres stepped forward, holding up a data crystal. "These are the designs for our latest weapons. But more importantly, these are the principles behind them. The science, the mathematics, the engineering. You need to understand why they work, not just how." A young council member took the crystal with trembling hands. "We have much to learn, it seems." "We all do," Walker said. "That's the point. No species has all the answers. We need to learn from each other." As the council members crowded around the data crystal, Thex approached Walker privately. "Captain," he said softly, "I owe you an apology. We were blind to our own arrogance." Walker shook his head. "The past is past, Commander. What matters is what we do now." Outside the council chamber, news was spreading across the galaxy. Earth weapons were being installed on council ships. Human officers were training alien crews. A new age of warfare was beginning. And somewhere in the Crimson Nebula, the remaining pirates were about to learn the difference between copying a weapon and truly understanding it. The galaxy was changing, and Earth was leading the way. Pride had nearly destroyed the Council. Humility would save it. The combined fleet hung in space like a metal storm cloud. 20 Council ships, their sleek hulls now bristling with Earth weapons, surrounded 5 Earth vessels. At the fleet's center, Captain Walker stood on the bridge of his flagship, the EDS Thunder. "All ships report ready," Lieutenant Torres announced from her station. Behind her, Council technicians worked alongside human crew members, monitoring the new hybrid weapon systems. "The pirates' main base is hidden in that asteroid field," Commander Thex said, pointing at the tactical display. His ship, newly equipped with both energy and kinetic weapons, flew beside the Thunder. "Our scouts count at least 30 pirate vessels." Walker nodded. "They think their stolen Earth weapons make them invincible. They don't know we've trained the Council fleet to use the real thing." The plan was simple but clever. The Council ships would use their superior energy weapons to destroy the smaller asteroids, clearing a path. Then, when the pirates tried to fight back with their copied railguns, they'd discover what real Earth weapons could do. All ships, battle formation. Walker ordered. Council vessels, clear us a road. The Council ships opened fire. Green energy beams lanced out, vaporizing asteroids. The pirates, hidden in their base, probably thought their shields would protect them like always. They were wrong. Pirate ships emerging, Torres reported. They're forming up for an attack. The pirate fleet burst from hiding, their ships painted blood red. They'd grown confident after months of defeating Council ships. Their railguns were ready to tear through energy shields like paper. But this time was different. All ships, execute Battle Plan Delta, Walker commanded. Show them what these weapons can really do. The Council ships didn't raise their energy shields. Instead, they activated the new magnetic deflector systems Earth had designed. The pirates fired their railguns, but the magnetic fields caught the metal slugs and sent them spinning harmlessly into space. They looked confused, Thex said with a smile. They expected their bullets to work like before. Our turn, Walker said. All ships, weapons free. Show them how Earth really fights. The combined fleet opened fire, but these weren't the simple railguns the pirates had copied. These were Earth's latest weapons, perfected over centuries of development. Guided smart shells curved through space, tracking their targets. Cluster rounds split apart, spreading nets of destruction. Electromagnetic pulse shells knocked out pirate systems before the kinetic rounds tore through their hulls. 10 enemy ships destroyed, Torres reported. They're breaking formation. The pirates tried to scatter, but Earth's targeting computers predicted their moves. Council energy weapons cut off their escape routes, while Earth kinetic weapons finished them off. They're running for their base, Thex said, just as we planned. The pirate base was built inside a massive asteroid. Its shields were strongest on the outside, designed to stop energy weapons, but they hadn't counted on Earth's latest invention. Launch the breaker torpedoes, Walker ordered. Special missiles shot from the Earth ships, looking like normal projectiles. The pirates ignored them, focusing on their retreat, but when the torpedoes hit the asteroid's surface, they didn't explode. They drilled. Breaker torpedoes have penetrated the asteroid, Torres announced. Detonation in 3, 2, 1. The torpedoes exploded inside the asteroid, behind the pirates' shields. The massive rock cracked like an egg, taking the pirate base with it. All pirate ships are either destroyed or surrendering, Torres reported. The Crimson Nebula pirates are finished. The bridge crew cheered. Council officers hugged their human counterparts. Centuries of divide between primitive and advanced weapons had ended in perfect victory. Well fought, Captain, Thex said, his voice proud. The Council will never laugh at Earth's weapons again. Walker watched the surviving pirates surrendering. It was never about whose weapons were better, Commander. It was about learning to use everything at our disposal. Old and new, past and future. The combined fleet regrouped, Earth and Council ships flying side by side. The galaxy was entering a new age, where pride and tradition gave way to innovation and cooperation. And it all started because someone laughed at a primitive gun. The Grand Council chamber looked different now. Where once only energy weapons had been displayed as symbols of power, now Earth's kinetic weapons stood proudly alongside them. Captain Walker stood in the center of the chamber, remembering how just months ago he had been laughed at in this very spot. Today, no one was laughing. Captain James Walker, High Commander Thex announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. You stand before the Galactic Council, not as a representative of a protected world, but as an equal. The chamber was packed. Representatives from every council race had come to witness this historic moment. Lieutenant Torres stood with the Earth delegation, beaming with pride. Earth has proven itself not just through strength of arms, Thex continued, but through wisdom. You showed us our own blindness without seeking revenge. You taught us when you could have defeated us. You chose cooperation over dominance. Walker stood straight in his dress uniform, which now bore both Earth and Council insignia. The Council hereby grants Earth full membership status, Thex declared. Moreover, we established the Joint Military Innovation Command, to be led jointly by Earth and Council officers. The chamber erupted in applause. It wasn't just political ceremony. Many of these beings had seen Earth's weapons save their colonies and ships from the pirates. Furthermore, Thex added when the applause died down, I have a personal presentation to make. He stepped down from his podium, holding a small box. Inside was a medallion made of a metal that seemed to shift colors in the light. This is the Star of Unity, Thex explained, our highest military honor. In all our history, it has never been given to someone from outside the Council. Until today. He placed the medallion around Walker's neck. The same commander who had once dismissed Earth's weapons as toys now bowed slightly to a human captain. Thank you, Commander, Walker said. But this honor belongs to all of Earth, and to everyone who learned to look past their pride to see the truth. Later, at the celebration, Torres approached Walker with a tablet. The latest reports, sir. 17 Council worlds have already adopted our hybrid defense system. Energy and kinetic weapons working together, just like we planned. Walker smiled. And the new training program. Full classes. Council officers are eager to learn about Earth's military history and technology. Some of them can't believe we once fought wars with just gunpowder and steel. Maybe that's the real lesson here, Walker mused. Every step of progress matters, from the first stone spear to the latest energy cannon. Forget your history, and you forget part of your strength. Across the room, Council weapons engineers were deep in discussion with Earth scientists. They were already developing new weapons that combined both technologies. Energy-guided kinetic rounds, plasma-enhanced artillery shells, magnetic acceleration fields for traditional bullets. Commander Thex joined them, looking more relaxed than Walker had ever seen him. Do you know what the best part is, Captain? The younger races, the ones we use to give protected status. They're learning both technologies from the start. No more artificial division between primitive and advanced weapons. Progress isn't a straight line, Commander, Walker replied. Sometimes you have to look back to move forward. As the celebration continued, Walker stepped out onto a balcony overlooking the Council capital. Ships flew past, their hulls now showing both Earth and Council designs. In the distance, a new class of defense platform was being installed, one that could stop both energy and kinetic attacks. The galaxy was changing. The age of looking down on primitive technology was over. Earth had taught the Council that true strength comes not from having the most advanced weapons, but from understanding all the ways to use them. And somewhere out there, Walker knew, another young civilization was developing its own primitive weapons. But this time, the Council wouldn't laugh. They would learn.